As the British public, we have seen a lot of Keir Starmer this week, as he has been taking steps to get closer to the EU and bring in more laws to take our freedom away. One of these proposed laws is to ban outdoor smoking, which ultimately will lead to pubs dying, and the stricter laws with tobacco will just give the business to gangs. This week has also seen him take away pensioners' winter fuel allowance, whilst also stating he wants to put taxes up to plug this quote-unquote black hole. However, the centre of this black hole has nothing to do with this, and is one big issue that could solve all of this, but Starmer won't do anything, as everything completely backfires on him. Before we get into the video, please hit like and subscribe and join our fast-growing community. A record number of migrants living in the UK are unemployed or economically inactive, a new report has revealed. The damning report suggested out-of-work migrants cost the British taxpayer an estimated £8 billion. Official figures showed 1,689,000 non-UK nationals are either unemployed or classified as economically inactive because they are not looking to enter the workforce. Pressure is mounting on Home Secretary Yvette Cooper after the Labour government paused. Tory plans to increase the income requirement to bring a foreign partner to the UK from £29,000 to £38,700 Conservative measures to stop foreign students and care workers bringing family members with them to the UK led to a 35% drop in visa applications in the first half of 2024. Despite voters expressing concern about a surge in net migration post-pandemic, Labour is now facing calls to increase new arrivals to deliver Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner's home-building boom. Keir Starmer was also dealt a blow yesterday after we revealed more than 20,000 migrants have crossed the Channel so far this year. The Centre for Migration Control put the cost to taxpayers of record levels of migrant worklessness at as much as £8.5 billion a year. Robert Bates, Research Director at the Centre for Migration Control, said last night, "For all the talk of a fiscal black hole, the Labour government seem to be missing the glaringly obvious fact that mass migration is causing economic pandemonium. There is no reason for us to continue handing out so many long-term visas when we are currently having to bail out over 1 million migrants who are already in Britain but not working. This is the very definition of a Ponzi scheme, and we will only compound the problem if we do not change course soon." He added, "Our elderly are facing a potentially deadly winter as Keir Starmer cancels the lifeline of the winter fuel allowance, but at the same time, he is doing nothing to clamp down on workless migrants." The Centre for Migration Control calculated the cost attributed to workless migrants could skyrocket to as high as £20.3 billion. "It looks like your tax bill will go up so we can pay for illegal immigrants and asylum seekers. Labour keep telling us about this financial black hole. It turns out a large chunk of that is the bill for illegal immigrants, and that problem is set to get worse, not better. The Home Office has been massively overspending when it comes to illegal immigration. Over the last 3 years, the Home Office estimated it would cost the taxpayer £320 million to handle asylum, border control, visas and passport operations. It cost £7.9 billion. That is an overspend of £7.6 billion. Whoopsie. The initial estimates of this year's cost are roughly £6.4 billion, but just look at the numbers coming across the Channel now, and the total lack of a plan to deal with them. We've had 7,000 arrivals since Keir Starmer became Prime Minister, more than 20,000 this year. The queue in Calais is getting bigger, not smaller. There's no deterrent anymore, so every single person who arrives will be able to claim asylum, then appeal again. We're going to have to build new sites to accommodate these people. The actual cost of this is going to be eye-watering. What they're not telling you is that a large chunk of that black hole is to pay for illegal immigrants. Another large chunk of that is the £3.1 billion. Labour borrowed to pay the unions, by the way. But when this miserable budget lands, and there are tax rises, there's no winter fuel payments for some pensioners, capital gains tax will probably goes up, so you don't get much of a return on your investments, and inheritance tax probably goes up. So the money that your loved ones, or you, have worked all your lives for to pass down to the next generation is ripped away from you, just so we can give it to people who have come to Britain illegally. Keir Starmer can shake the hands of as many European leaders as he wants. Maybe he should press the flesh of a few British people and see how they feel about that. In other news, A 5-year-old girl has died after a car burst into flames in a horror crash in Bristol. Avon and Somerset police were called to Bishport Avenue in Hartcliffe, Bristol, on Wednesday, August 14th at around 8:20 p.m. after reports of a vehicle collision. Fire and ambulance services also attended the incident, in which 4 others, one of whom was in serious condition, were sent to hospital. On Thursday, police sadly confirmed that the girl died this week from her injuries from the incident 2 weeks prior. An eyewitness told Bristol Live, "I was on the bus, and you could see the line of fire in the road where the car was on fire. It was like a string of fire behind it, so I think the tyres might have been on fire." Another said that 11 police vehicles, 3 fire engines and multiple paramedics arrived on the scene. "I overheard one of the police officers say something to do with an accident occurring," they added. Video footage shows the humongous blaze engulfing the car following the crash. Officers have now launched an urgent appeal for more information after the tragedy. A spokesperson for the force said, "Officers are renewing their appeal following a fatal collision in Hartcliffe earlier this month." Officers were called to a single-vehicle collision in Bishport Avenue in Hartcliffe on Wednesday, 14th of August, at around 8:20 p.m. 4 people were taken to hospital, one of whom was in serious condition. "It is with great sadness that we must confirm a 5-year-old girl has sadly died this week from her injuries following the collision. Her family are aware, and they are being offered support by a specially trained family liaison officer. Our thoughts are with them at this time. Inquiries are ongoing into the collision, and we are renewing our appeal for witnesses and anyone with dashcam, doorbell or CCTV footage." Lastly, a murder investigation has been launched after a 13-year-old boy was stabbed to death at a house in the West Midlands yesterday. Police were called at 4 p.m. to a home on Lovett Avenue in the market town of Oldbury. West Midlands Ambulance Service alerted officers about the child's condition. Paramedics were called to the scene after a schoolboy reportedly sustained life-threatening injuries. A spokesperson revealed 1 ambulance, 2 paramedic officers, the WMAS critical care car, a MERIT trauma doctor and critical care paramedic, and a BASICS emergency doctor attended the scene. Upon arrival, we found a teenage boy with life-threatening injuries. However, the teenager was sadly pronounced dead at the scene. West Midlands Ambulance Service added, "Ambulance staff administered advanced trauma care at the scene, but unfortunately, despite their best efforts, nothing more could be done to save him, and he was confirmed deceased at the scene." A cordon remained in place late into the evening, with officers approaching residents for further information. What are your thoughts on Starmer? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like and subscribe button and join our fast-growing community. Take care. Goodbye.